Kin gathered close at the hearth, where the fire's warmth guards our little ones and elders from the night's chill. What if whispers from distant river crossings lure our youth from the plow, leaving the soil untended and the household stores to wither?
Hear me, blood of my blood, for such paths untrodden have broken clans before, scattering labor like chaff in the wind.
Already, in our own steadings, the young turn ears to far-off calls, forsaking the daily round that binds us through seasons.
At the hearth that first dim evening, as embers glowed on faces young and old, a youth spoke of tales carried by passing traders, strange songs of freedom beyond the hills, where no hand need grip the hoe.
The elder among us shook his head, smoke curling from his pipe like unanswered warnings. Who mends the fence when the shepherd dreams of unbound pastures? He asked, his voice steady as the river's flow.
Yet the youth lingered by the fire, eyes distant, while the morrow's dawn found the workshop's tools idle, hammers unfallen, and the first furrows skipped in the field.
By midday, in the sun-baked pastures, the flock strayed unguarded, ewes calling unanswered as youths clustered at the boundary stones, murmuring those traders' words.
Household labor faltered. Milk pails stood empty, cheese unpressed, and the kin who toiled alone grew weary, their backs bent without shared hands.
Reciprocity frayed like old rope. One brother's seed grain went unshared, another's water bucket unreplenished.
From the riverbank, where fish lines once danced in unison, came the first quiet strain. Nets hauled alone, catches meager, as trust thinned amid the rushing water.
Days turned to a full moon cycle, and the neighborhood's council circle emptied of its steady voices.
Youths gathered instead at crossroads, paths trampled not by carts of harvest, but by restless feet chasing echoes from afar.
Storehouses echoed hollow. Grain from last season's yield mouldered untouched, while distant stewards edicts preferential measures for merchants. Wagons shifted like sand, swelling the cost of salt and eggs threefold.
Elders watched from doorways, their skilled hands idle, passing no law of weaving or smelting to idle apprentices. What becomes of the clan's loom when threads of kinship snap one by one? Murmured one greybeard, as the circle's rituals went unheld, bonds cooling like quenched forge fires.
Seasons deepened the rift, through the hot winds of summer when shadows lengthened over neglected fields.
Rolling darkness fell upon the settlement, not the night's gentle veil, but hours of unlit lamps, workshops stilled by unseen burdens on the water wheels and bellows.
Households shivered without steady flame, children huddled closer to elders, yet even there, the young slipped away to cluster at boundaries, drawn by calls from exiled kin across the great waters.
Labor chains broke wide plows, rusted in furrows half-drawn, herds thinned on untended grass, and reciprocity vanished like mist at noon.
Kin networks strained to snapping. One family's hearth went cold for lack of shared wood. Another's elders sat forgotten, their stories of enduring floods untold.
A turning moon brought clamor to the streets between steadings, where voices rose like storm winds, paths choked, not by harvest carts, but by heedless gatherings.
Tools lay abandoned in workshops, fields yellowed untended, and the land itself groaned under footfalls that sowed no seed.
Communication faltered, as if rivers ran dry. No runner's call linked hearth to hearth, no smoke signal bound kin, only landlines whispered faintly between the closest dwellings.
The council's distant seals proved frail, their measures unable to match the swelling demand of unchecked wants. Who guards the children when the young chase phantoms from foreign shores? An elder called from the riverbank, as nets lay tangled and fish leaped free.
Years compounded the echo, through winter's bite and spring's false promise.
Neighborhoods frayed into wary clusters, trust eroded like riverbanks after flood merchants' houses hoarded what reciprocity once flowed freely.
Skills faded from young hands, No youth learned the elders' way of mending walls or reading the stars for planting.
Pastures grew barren, storehouses echoed with want, and the land, once stewarded through kin's patient toil, yielded thorns where wheat should wave.
Children played with broken tools. Elders' voices grew faint in empty circles, and lineages teetered, their roots starved of labor's nurture.
Hear now the final word from this elder's lips. Kin at the hearth where fire yet flickers, if such whispers prevail, and duties scatter like leaves in gale. Households fracture into lone wanderers, elders sit shrouded in silence with lore unpassed, children hunger amid untended fields, trust crumbles to dust without reciprocity's weave, skills vanish like smoke on the wind, and the clan's bloodline withers, untended and undone.
Turn back to the plough, the flock, the shared flame, lest the hearth grow cold forever, and our kin's fire dim to ash.
If the words of the elders stirred recognition in your heart, then you must carry that ember from your own hearth, and add your thread to the rope that binds the kin, so the flame may strengthen the circle once more. You walk the paths between the stones, and keep the watch at the boundary stones against the wind that would scatter what the elders have kept you. Tend the fire that warms the right hands, and guide the child back to the ground, meant for their labor, so the lesson passes onward through generations, and the circle remains whole.